All right, Jason Rice here. I'm back live again. I hope anybody that was on my last live can join back in. What happened was I was sharing my screen with a chart, and I wanted to stop sharing that chart, so I thought it would go back to my camera, but it dropped me off. So I'm going to pick this back up, and essentially I'm going to kind of start over on this live. Sorry about that, Trevor and Ed. Thanks for coming back. But I was having the chart up on there, and I wanted to stop showing the chart, and I thought it would switch back to the camera, but it killed my live. So I'm going to kind of start all over. If you want to see what I'm talking about in chart, I have on my profile, you'll see the last live I just did. It had the chart data in there. But basically, when we track dealerships, one of the things we do is help them look at what's going on in the market. And one of those things is looking at shopper counts, like on AutoTrader, Cars.com, Car Gurus. Like AutoTrader will give you a data on shopper counts. So we've been tracking that data for years now. I was showing a chart. Again, you can look at it on my last live video I just did minutes ago, and it got cut off. But the chart shows in 2014, we've been tracking this for 4 years now. January, February, March brings in the highest shopper counts of the years online. And then April, May, and June drop off. They pick up in July, August, and then back down through December as the lowest shopper counts at the end of the year. And year after year, we see the same shopper count. So April just ended. Again, that typically brings the softer months than January, February, March shopper counts. But so April was a hit or miss month for a lot of dealerships. And what I mean by that is some started off strong and then hit a brick wall. Some started out slow and picked back up. I think a lot of that was weather related. There's some weird weather going on in April. But most guys were pretty soft. But yet the lane was going really high still. The lane is still pulling a lot of money, and I think a lot of dealerships still paying up. It's that March traffic hangover. People were trying to still fill up their inventory in their lot. But also you're going to see in your systems like your vAuto or something where day supply is actually one of the lowest right now. A lot of dealers I'm looking at have the market day supply of their cars, how fast these cars are turning in the market. Some of them are in the 50s and 60s, which again is one of the lowest points in the season. You go, well, here I'm in April going into May and it's slower. How come my day supply is so good? Well, the day supply is a 45-day window, so it looks back till February, March, again, when the shopper counts were high. So with that 45-day data, yeah, day supply, the cars are turning good. But you're going to find by April, May, and June and July, you're going to see that day supply in July when traffic does pick back up. Your day supply is high because, again, it's looking back 45 days in April, May, and June when the traffic was light and the sales were light. And I could show you these trends again, stupid Facebook Live. I'm trying to figure out how I could switch from me to a chart, but every time I do it, it kills it. So we see these trends. We know the shopper counts are going to go down even more in May, and they're going to go down even more in June. And so what you're going to start seeing in systems like your vAuto and other inventory management tools is you're going to see the retail market moving fast, and you're going to have to keep up with that. So what I mean by that probably mid-May going into June, I think wholesale values should start dropping, but people are going to start dumping that inventory that they bought in February, March, and the beginning of April. They're going to start dumping those cars and pricing them aggressive to sell. So in the next week or two, you're going to start seeing where you price a car at 98% to market today. Well, next week, that 98% might turn into 100. You're going to start seeing these cars in this market move pretty quick. So what I'm wanting to put this quick tip out for you is to understand what's coming and be prepared for it. Don't price a car and let it sit for 2 or 3 weeks without paying attention to it. A lot of the times when I was traveling with vAuto and helping dealerships with inventory management tool, the reason why most stores had a bleed through on their aged inventory was a lot of times people forgot about a car. Used car manager, typically when they're busy doing all the things that they do for the day, TON deals, appraising cars, buying cars at auctions, appraising cars, they tend to, when they attack their inventory, they tend to work in 2 places. One, the fresh. They got the fresh stuff price photoed online, description, put it live, and then they focus on age because the boss is getting on about all these age cars. And what they quit and stopped focusing on was these 20, 30-day-old cars. So as he's pushing out 10 age cars, the 50-day-old cars end up replacing those. They got rid of 10 age, 10 more came in. And so that's why dealerships struggled with age. And so when they priced that car, they kind of let it ride for a while until it became back on their radar. And it usually came on the radar when it started in age again, or maybe, the pricing got too high and it really stood out. So you're going to find if you price a car day one at 100% of market and don't touch it for 3 weeks, it might turn into 104% of the market over the next few weeks going into April, May, and June. This market's going to start moving pretty quick. So that's what I wanted to do with this, is give you that quick tip on don't set a price and set it and forget it. You've got to stay on top of these price changes because the market's going to move pretty quick. May and June, or mid-May and going into June, these dealers are going to start dumping stuff that pay top dollar for in March and even April, and what they've been doing over the last few weeks. But I do feel the wholesale values are going to start dropping. They're already kind of indicating that they are a bit. You won't see it right now at the lanes, but you see it in the headlines and comparably where they were last year. You're going to start seeing things soften up. The other things I've been telling dealers is to, and this was a month ago, but watching gas price trends. The gas prices, they say, are going to be up 14% over the summer. They always have a spring-summer influx because of supply and demand, summer and spring break drivers. But there's also been a big reduction on crude oil production. So gas prices will continue to go up. I think they're going to hold out pretty much all year, and a lot of markets are going to hit that three plus dollars per gallon. So cars are still moving. Intermediate, compact, subcompact cars are still going for top dollars. I think they still will. I think if you run into a little heavy into these next few months in cars, I think it's fine, but don't hold and hope on them. So those are the couple of things that we're seeing going on in the market. Again, retail market's probably going to move pretty quick. Guys are going to start dropping these prices, and they're going to be taking hits. Now, if you're clean, and that's one of a lot of things we've been working with our current dealers, using January, February, March to clean up our inventory to be nice and clean going into slower April, May, and June months, so we can be buyers. That's where you always want to be buyers. Don't be holding on to these cars, because it's hard being a buyer when you got a bunch of aged cars sitting on your lot. But if you're clean going into these months, you can be a buyer at the lane, buy these cars a little bit cheaper as wholesale's going down and everybody else is dumping them. The challenge, though, becomes you're buying them cheaper, but guys are dumping them and they're pricing them cheaper. So now you still got to crunch and gross. That's where gross battle still happens, because you either got to compete with this guy that's got a 100-day-old car and drop your price and compete with them, or you got to sit and wait till he sells it and your price becomes relevant. And it's never a good idea to sit and wait on a car. So go ahead and be able to be a buyer, buy it cheaper, but as you're selling it for the same price as that guy dumping a 100-day-old car, you're making some money on it while he's losing. So if you're going in it clean, now if not, use April, May, and June to clean up your inventory and get that stuff moving. So maybe by July, August, when it picks back up a little bit on that summer selling season, you can use those months to have gross and volume. So hopefully this tip was helpful. Try not to make them too long. Again, if you missed it, I had a chart on a Facebook Live just about 5 minutes ago that got crashed, and I showed the chart of the shopper counts on April, May, and June, and for 4 years the shopper counts through AutoTrader. Check that video out if you want a confirmation of how the market moves. It's pretty much the same in every market. We deal with dealers all over the country and even up in Canada, and it's pretty much the same shopper habits regardless of autotradercars.com. Check that other one out on my profile. Hope this was helpful. Check us out at lotpop.com. We give free evaluations. We'll sit with you and give you some tips and ideas of how to move your inventory now. Also, during that evaluation, show you what we can do to help you turn your inventory. Our dealers carry what they sell, sell what they carry. Basically, if you got 100 units, you should be doing 100. And we've got some dealerships carrying, 170, selling 225 and having gross, because we push it out in the first 30 days. We want to increase the amount of cars that you sell in the first 30 days, and that's been the focus. So if you need help cleaning up, let us know. Again, lotpop.com. You can check out lotpartyshow.com. We also have a ton of videos on there, or my YouTube channel, Lotpop. There's probably almost close to 100 videos on there. We also have a lot of these posts on iTunes podcast or SoundCloud. You can catch them all in there too. I take anything I record on video and upload it on audio. So just look for Lotpop or Lot Party on iTunes. You can look at Lotpop YouTube. Please subscribe. Trying to get the subscribers up on that channel. A lot of good content there. And give me a call, 844-LOTPOP4, if you need anything else. Thanks.